Alrighty, so this is the second discussion here. I'm Dallas Gonzalez.
Cheyenne Burton.
Alright, let's get into it. So, first question we have is how do you address the issue that student body is paying more to support athletics than ever before? And what are some of the solutions for that problem?
Well, yeah, I don't agree with the the athletic part of paying for school. Just like you said, the student fees for athletics. Everybody don't associate with athletics.
Yeah.
People don't work out. People don't do this and that. And over the years, it has went up.
Yeah.
But for people that don't utilize the system, I don't think should have to be a part of paying for that.
Yeah. And do you think, do you know, off the top of your head, are there anything solution-wise that you can think of, only charging those certain students or something like that?
I think it would be better for people that do want to use the gym and stuff to pay for the year or the semester or something like that.
Yeah.
That would probably be a little better.
Yeah. I mean, I for the most part agree with that. I mean, I think just because we're charging students a lot of money for, let's say half of them don't even use it, and that's money they could be saving. At the other hand, I mean, I use the rec center and stuff like that. I actually don't really go to a lot of sporting events. I mean, I'm a sports guy, but I just don't really ever have time to get out and do those type of things. So, I mean, having that automatically deducted, I think sometimes I don't really agree with it. I understand why they do it, but at the same time, I don't really. I'm kind of on the fence about it. The rec, stuff like that I do agree with. I think if students are going to go to the games regardless, so I mean, if you just charge them at the gate for something like that, you're still getting that payment in regardless. So I mean, I think it can work that way and not having to charge the students who don't really use it at all.
Right.
Maybe if they use some other facilities and then the athletes don't use those facilities, you can kind of maybe divvy up stuff like that. It may be a little bit harder to keep track of though. But I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying. If you're not using those facilities and you're not going to the events, it seems kind of irrational to have to charge those people for stuff, they're not even using.
Yeah, and then we think that we get into these games and doing stuff for free, and it's not for free.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly. People go to the games like, oh, who cares? It's free. Well, technically, everyone is paying for it, and it's
right.
If a lot of people aren't even using it, it does seem kind of dumb. It's like that with everything too. I mean, I didn't even know on campus, if you use a printer, you get $20 automatically free printing. It automatically comes out of your tuition. I mean, I've never used it ever, but it's just money that it's wasting per se because I'm never going to use it. I have a printer at my house, so it's kind of $20. I mean, I know it's only $20, but still, it's just the point of money's getting wasted.
Yeah, I agree with that because I know the past few years I didn't have to print out anything, and it's not like you get it back or it could get put towards something else for you or anything. It just goes away.
Exactly, it kind of disappears. But alrighty, so for number 2, so considering the dark side of athletics, what issues kind of do they talk about, and if any, how can we address these problems if you think there is any that need to be addressed?
Well, I was reading about the exploitation of the college students. I feel like that they are being exploited just for the simple fact that college sports is almost like $1 billion industry.
Yeah, exactly.
So for everyone around them to be making money and they just, pretty much plan for them, I think they're being exploited.
Yeah, and it's the main thing, like I said, I got out of it was, these universities are really putting their self-interest and, making all this money, over actually taking care of the students themselves. And like you said, this is a $1 billion industry, and, they're making so much money and so much revenue that, it seems like the athletes are kind of getting pushed to the side and just saying, hey, go play, do this. And so, I mean, I don't know. to address the problem of it, I think it kind of just comes down to the culture. I mean, this is kind of just the culture of college sports. That's how everyone runs it. So, I mean, it's kind of hard just to say as a whole, everyone stop doing that because, I mean, universities kind of go ahead and do their own thing anyways. So, I don't know. It's going to be, I think it's kind of a tough issue to, I mean, obviously it's something that needs to be changed and it probably will take a very long time to get it changed.
Right.
But, I mean, like I said, it's a culture thing. It kind of just, it's how it's always been in college. You know, it shouldn't be, you know, student athletes should be students first over the athletes part. But it seems like these universities are really pushing the athletics
first.
Exactly. Yeah. So, for number 3, how viable are Zimbalist's suggested reforms? You know, the main thing that I read from it was pretty much he just wanted to set kind of like a precedent of how much coaches should be paid. You know, that to me that seems kind of difficult just because every university runs its own type of thing. You know, if they want to go out and spend all this money on a coach because they think they can win, then I mean, I guess I don't know how you stop them by doing that. You know, I think it's ridiculous when you see colleges pay these coaches $4 or $5 million and their programs suck and they never do good. You know, it's like we're wasting money on this coach, and we really could be putting that money towards the students themselves. You know, who pretty much are the reason why the university even exists in the first place.
Yeah, when I seen how much these coaches are making, it's like ridiculous.
I know.
Like,
it
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, you think, I mean, I know it's totally different, but I mean, if you think just a high school coach makes maybe like $40,000, and then you jump all the way to college and you even if you're not the greatest of coaches, you could still be making $1 million, and it's like that's a huge difference.
Exactly, and there's no guarantee of how your coaching is really going to be effective.
Exactly. And I mean, like I said, I'm a big sports dude, so time and time after again, you know, I see these big universities go out and spend all this money on coaches, and their programs don't really change that much, and then they fire the coach, and then they still owe the coach $20 million, you know, and then they're hiring a new coach, and it just doesn't really make any sense. So, I mean, I think that's like, for me, that was the biggest one out of that, and I feel like that should be changed somehow. It's just, I honestly don't even know how that would get changed, just because, like I said, every university kind of runs itself on its own, and, you know, I feel like if they feel the need to do that, then I guess they kind of have the power to it. I don't have a solution to it.
Yeah.
But alrighty. Number 4, what options do the university presidents have to address the issues of their increasing coaching salary costs, kind of what we just talked about, and the facility arms race? So just all these universities pretty much, you know, they seem to be competing with each other, putting up all these $85 to $100 million new stadiums and facilities and all that stuff. So what options do you kind of think that the presidents of these universities have to deal with this problem?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I guess, I don't know. I guess they don't have to offer them so much.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, I mean, a coach, they should be wanting a coach to do it, I don't know. I just don't feel like coaches need to make that much amount of money.
No, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. You know, sometimes it seems like they're after the money more than the coaching itself.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm thinking about minoring in coaching, and so, I mean, the way I think it's dumb that, you know, I mean, obviously I want to make money, yeah, but at the same time, you know, I think the interest of the coach should be, you know, helping the players first, which I'm not saying isn't the case, but I mean, there are some coaches that pretty much just do it for the money, which is kind of stupid. And also for these facilities and stuff like that, I mean, I also think it's dumb. I think.
But why do you think they pay these coaches that much?
Just because, I mean, for an example, so the Alabama football coach, Nick Saban, he makes like $7 million. I mean, he's won national championships and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess in a sense you could say he's deserved it, whatever, if anyone really deserves $7 million a year to coach. But, I mean, it's just, they want their program, you know, the more national championships they win, the more it pushes their program, on TV and stuff like that, it gets exposure. Also, they can get more student athletes, more people to go to that university, which then generates more revenue for their university. And so they think, it's kind of like an investment for them. So if they think this coach can bring us this much success, then maybe it's worth $5 million because we're going to
make. But maybe it should be based on how well they've done.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Because I mean, like I was saying earlier, there is coaches out there who haven't really done much that are making so much money, and it's like the university looks dumb. It looks like I don't know. It's kind of a tough thing to talk about just because it's kind of the university. If they really feel the need to do it, then whatever. But us on the outside, you look at it, say it's stupid, which I totally agree with. But if they feel like that'll get their university the most exposure through wins or whatever, then I guess they're gonna. I guess that's what they're gonna do. And for like the facility wise, I don't know. It's kind of starting to get ridiculous. These universities, like I said, they're making $100 million facilities now, like stadiums and stuff. And this is a university we're talking about here, a college, and I don't see them really. At least I don't hear about them putting that much money into like academic stuff. So it really gives you the impression. It really gives you the impression that these universities are really pushing these athletics over the academic side of it, which college is for, is academics. Athletics is kind of supposed to be like a side thing.
Yeah, like Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these, everything, man. It's like all these big universities, they spend so much money on their sports, and like I'm from Texas, so in Texas A&M, they just built a new stadium or added onto it, and now they're building like a new $100 million practice facility and stuff like that. It's like A&M football isn't even that good. Like they kind of suck, to be honest with you, but yet they're putting so much money into this stuff, and it's just like it seems like a waste. Like I said, it's kind of hard to say just because universities kind of act on their own, but from the outsiders like us, I think it looks really dumb.
Yeah.
NFL teams, sure, go build all the facilities you want because that's kind of they don't have to deal with academics, they're dealing strictly with football. And so with academics and college and stuff like that, I would like to see more. Like I said, I'm a big athletes dude, and I know all these facilities are nice to have and stuff like that, but if you're going to do these big facilities for sports, I'd also like to see academic stuff also, like money get generated into that. And I'm sure there is, but it's just you don't hear about it that much. All right, so for the last one, with the way universities are putting so much money into their athletic programs, and with the way coaches in college sports are being paid, and also the amount of hours college athletes spend at practice and with game prep, do you believe college athletes should be compensated financially? And with that, even though majority of them are on scholarship, which meaning their college is already getting paid for?
Okay, well, the scholarship I feel like is a gift for them come playing for you. So I do think they should be compensated for what it's worth, because like they're making so much money.
Yeah.
It's not like you're giving them millions of dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
You could give them money to.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, to be able to do things.
Exactly. For food. There's stuff. You read articles about how college kids or these athletes, going hungry and stuff like that. It's like, geez, these guys are putting all their work into your sport for you. At least you could do is throw them, a couple $100 every week, or a couple thousand or $1,000 or $2,000 for the month, and have them budget their own thing.
Or even like having money to having a certain amount of money just for the athletes.
Yeah.
Like you could just split some of the money up. Like you could take probably a fourth of the college salary and it would be good.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. It's kind of it would be a hard thing to kind of divvy up just because everyone puts so many different hours into that sport. But I feel like they should be compensated somewhat. I'm not saying, like you said, pay them $1 million, but something for them, because they don't have time to have a job with school and the sport. And so I don't know. I feel like they should be compensated.
Yeah, me too.
But alrighty, that's the end of it. And